That beautiful hymn to the god Amun was found in the cult chapel of Piety in Thebes, so a Theban tomb. This one is Theban tomb number 139. It was built around 1420 BC, but the inscription itself doesn't actually come from the tomb owner Piety. It was actually written by a visitor named Pawah about 80 years after the tomb's creation. It's generally agreed that the author of this poem, Pawah, was blind and is asking the god Amun to restore his sight. However, I think this poem is more reminiscent of a man in prayer and great devotion to a deity. He is longing to reconnect and see the face of his god, and in fact, the desire to see the face of God is mentioned at least 5 times in the entire text. I didn't use the entire text in this recreation because, number one, it's a little long, and number two, parts of it are fragmentary, meaning that we don't have every single part of it, or some parts of it are destroyed, meaning that it's difficult to read and reconstruct all of it if some hieroglyphs are missing, for example. Another reason that I left out certain lines was because I didn't want to claim the identity of Pawah, because in some parts of the text, he is saying, this scribe Pawah, servant of Amun, etc., etc., and so I didn't want to say that my name was Pawah because it's not. But this prayer is a great example of personal piety, which was a growing trend in the New Kingdom. Previously, we don't see a lot of personal piety in the Old and New Kingdom, and personal piety is a personal relationship that a commoner can have with a god, which is very different from the sort of relationship that we often see in Egyptian religion, where only the pharaoh or the priests can have a relationship with God. Interestingly, this poem also shares some poetic similarities to the dispute between a man and his Ba text that I also sang. These comparisons were made by Jan Assman in a particular text that I will link down below so that you can read some of it. I don't think I have the full edition of whatever this comes from, whatever book this comes from, but there is a few pages where you can read some of his thoughts on this particular piece of personal piety poetry. The author, Pawah, quote, enjoys the sweetness of Amun's name, like the taste of life, like breathing air for one who is in bondage. And those are both lines that are in the song. I didn't use one or both of them because, again, they're a bit fragmentary, but they are in the song. And they link very similarly to lines from the dispute. The lines, for example, death is in my sight today, a cure of a sick man, like going outside after confinement. Death is in my sight today, like the smell of myrrh, like sitting under the sail on a windy day. This longing to see a deity plays into a recurring theme of Egyptian poetry, wherein the author desires to see something but is shrouded by darkness, or just by an inability to see, by being blind. Their desire can be pointed towards an earthly lover or towards a deity, but it is a recurring theme of blindness and the desire to see. The first line states that Amun is the lord of Persea trees because the Persea tree is a holy tree in Egypt. In the second line, there is the word garlands. However, the translation for that is a little disputed, and some people translate it as north wind, meaning that it would change the line from saying, "May your neck be adorned with garlands," to "May your throat take the north wind." However, the use of the word throat or neck here is very much the term that is usually used in reference to necklaces and garlands, and so I have chosen to use the garland translation. The Egyptologist Jan Assman also notes the personal piety that is present in this particular piece of poetry, especially in the line, "O great Lord who can be found by seeking him," since personal piety has a deep theme of seeking, finding, or arriving, referring to, quote, the personal experience of a divine intervention, especially of a rescuing character. I think this is a beautiful piece of poetry from the New Kingdom in dedication to the god, the Lord Amun, who is the god of hiddenness and the breath behind all things in life. And once you kind of realize that aspect of who the god Amun is, this poem kind of makes a lot more sense. He is present in all things, and so he is literally the air that you breathe, and he is in your soul, he is in your eyes, and by seeing him, you see all things. There are many hymns to Amun that are both written by priests in temples and that are found inscribed into temple walls, as well as found inscribed in tombs as artifacts of this personal piety. I chose this one because I felt like it was a very beautiful example of it and very personal as well. And so I hope you enjoyed listening to my rendition of it. I will put a couple more links and information in the description, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!